October 28th, 2013. We're looking at Earth-facing images of the Sun from the SDO, and we have activity around the Sun, but to the right, on the direction that Ison is coming. You can see a barrage, guys. It's very active, very impressive. You can see one pop, that last X flare, and then three skirt across the surface there in unison. Now, a couple of different things I want to talk about here. I got two alerts that came in today, and I will show you those. And the alerts are that Venus and Mercury are within 6 degrees of these very active spots as they come around. Now, this is the notification. It says the Mercury is 6 degrees from the active region and that Venus is 5.7 degrees. If you pause this, guys, if I go too fast where you can take time to study it and absorb this, it's very helpful, because we're talking about what's the active regions and what's exposed to them. And if you notice in the arrows coming across to the left and the red, green, and blue there, what they're talking about is just all of a sudden we've got all these potentials for X flares. We've got Mercury and Mars, Venus, and the Earth in that chart there. But again, Venus and Mercury are the closest, as you can see here. This is today's date, October 28th. Notice where they're at. The Sun's in the center, of course, and the flares are popping off to the left towards Ison. Now, one of the reasons I want to do this video is with this activity picking up, and I'm going to show you a couple of instruments. I'm almost positive this is what we've got. We've got Ison coming in at its size and causing all the, in the yellow area there, you see that's where the energy is being launched from the Sun. Now, all three planets that you see are on the right. That's why they're giving you the warning about Mercury and Venus in that 6 degree proximity to these areas. Notice everything, all three are moving counterclockwise, of course, in orbit. But what they're doing is moving into the path of the blast of the Sun as it greets Ison coming in. It's like an extreme positive and an extreme negative arcing, like an electric arc welder. It's about as simple as you could explain what we got. And we found out that every comet through history has some different characteristics, the makeup of it. And this one is a comet that they say we've never seen. Well, so we don't know what what the complete makeup of it is. But anyway, notice here, this is a blast area. You see Earth coming into the right. As Ison enters, now it's lined up with Mercury. So anything pulled out at Ison is going to blast Mercury directly. But these things radiate out in about 180 degrees. And you see Mercury and Venus Earth and Venus on the right, moving into that pattern. The closer Ison gets, the closer behind it, we're moving into that 180 degree pattern. Now, Mercury's going to escape at this point. Notice it's on the left side of the Sun, as Ison is just wrapped around the Sun on November 28th and 29th. Now, if it survives that perihelion and its slingshot continues to rise, the Earth and Venus continue to move into the path of whatever the Sun sends at Ison. You see this? Now, Ison will be rising very fast. But again, these are 180 degree blasts sometimes. Let this go through. Here we're at December 29th. We have moved right under that point, and now on January 15th, we've entered that debris trail. But again, this is on this right side. There's that X1 there. Then the volley that seemed to erupt from that side of the Sun. And I'll show you, I want to show you one of the proton charts. And comment Lovejoy for you guys that watched it then, as you see this last CME and that flare there. Again, on that side, on the right side. But if you remember on the proton flux chart, that it peeled all three layers, the green, red, and blue, up for that entire almost a week that Ison was coming and leaving on its close approach to the Sun. And that's what's starting to happen now. But look at the power here. Again, this is the Ison facing side. See the blast there and the X signatures as it plays in that speed. And we'll look at, you notice it's the 28th, 4:29:20 Universal Time. Look at the blast in the upper right now. So not only was it a flare, but you see the coronal mass ejection that was involved with it. So you had two events. You can see that signature straight line going straight up vertical from that point. Very powerful reactions. Again, look at the burst. Tremendous amount of energy. Just keeps expanding, like it's saying, "Hello, Ison. Welcome back after eons." But by watching this daily, we'll be able to tell what the reaction is, because it will stay on that side of the sun as Ison comes in. Now, again, Ison is approaching 1 AU, or that's the distance between the sun and the Earth, one all astronomical unit, guys. So it's at that line now, so it's close enough, and you can see the reaction, and it's on that side. And throughout the day, we've had one strong M-class flare after the other. I think it's about 4 after that X1. But now this one, as you can see, the X1 happened, and those 4, and this is what we got going on, guys. On the right, I've just superimposed Ison where it would be on the flare tracker on the left. This map on the right showing Ison, and it's coming into that area. There's a day or so off on the track, but there's where it's coming from. And you see the CME that's greeting it now. Again, what will that have anything to do with possibly causing Ison to break apart? We don't know. But this, on this proton flux chart, watched it for the week that Ison came in, and all 3 layers there, guys, peeled up. Now, as I ended the video, I just kind of wanted to go over and check, and you can see we're still having activity in the M class area. Here is your A satellite. Check this out. Continuous climb. That's your protons, guys. Now, looking at stereo A, when we're doing that, that's Mercury going across one burst after the other. And remember, when we're watching Secchi, and we're watching Ison come over that wingtip, guys, like this, that's the direction we're watching it from. Just like that. Now, these are the newest, 2 of the newest ground-based images of Ison, and these have some stacking on top of them. And when I pull it down, and just out of the coolest temperatures, this is what I see. Got this image, and I'm looking at different temperatures, different exposure times. But that first one, pause that first image, and that's the closest one looking inside Ison. A couple of different images, guys. Beautiful coming in, but again, on that first image, just pause it, and that's the closest one, and look at the stacked images. It's like one center object, and because of the stacking, it looks like an orbital pattern around that. Heads up, be safe.